Hello, I'm Sudhakar Kakkirani, 25 years in IT industry. I'm going to explain how to become a Scrum Master and I'll also cover the required key functions for executing IT projects successfully. Let us move on to the topics. Tech or non-tech background. How does it matter? I will explain. Train the team, Waterfall versus Agile Scrum. I will explain the differences and where to apply which methodology. Ceremonies, I will discuss about all 5 different Scrum ceremonies. Reports, what are all the reports which help us to execute the project successfully. Cross-functional teams, I will explain about the importance of communicating and collaborating with cross-functional teams. Customer feedback, I will discuss on how to collect the feedback from the customer, what to collect and what are the next steps. Project roadmap and release plan explains about the detailed roadmap of the project and the corresponding releases plan, say yearly, half yearly, quarterly, monthly releases. Project health and risk status, I will go in detail. Sprints delivery status, sprint release report, active sprint board. These are very important. Next one, required experience and importance of certification. I will explain about do we really need an experience to become a Scrum Master, and also I'll speak on how does certification help. Okay, let's move on to the first topic. Tech or non-tech background. It doesn't matter whether you come from a technical background like computer science or from an MBA. What matters is having a clear understanding of the roles and responsibilities of a Scrum Master. You should know about some responsibilities such as create and manage the Scrum board and sprints. I shared a link in the comments on how to create and manage the Scrum board and sprints in JIRA. Please check it later. Conducting Scrum ceremonies, there is a separate slide for it. I will explain in detail there. Manage the team means guide the team to deliver the tasks, resolving the risks, supports the needs on technology gaps, domain knowledge, and non-technology areas like infra, network, asset needs. Then collaborate with cross-functional teams, maintain the relationship with all the stakeholders, work with them, and make all teams to achieve the common goal of successful project completion. Showcase the project health status with JIRA dashboard reports. And learn the required tools. This is must. Tools like JIRA, Confluence, Slack, Microsoft Teams, Miro, MS Excel, MS PPT. Let me give a brief on these tools. JIRA is an agile project management and issue tracking software. It helps in plan, track, and deliver the projects efficiently. Confluence tool, it allows teams to create, share, and organize the contents like documents, project plans, meeting notes, and more. Slack provides public and private channels. Team members can easily share files, can chat on project tasks, and it integrates with many apps to automate tasks. Microsoft Teams, it's a cloud-based collaboration platform, provides video conferencing, team chat, file storage, and app integration to one workspace. Miro provides a visual workspace for innovation that enables distributed teams of any size can work together simultaneously. MS Excel and MS PPT are so useful for presenting different project reports, charts. So learn them at depth. Train the team, Waterfall versus Agile Scrum. There is a difference in executing the projects using Agile Scrum and Waterfall methodologies. You should clearly understand and explain your teams. Waterfall is a sequential step-by-step process to implement the entire project. There are phases like requirement gathering, analysis and design, development, testing and deployment, and there will be production support also. Here each phase is defined with a defined duration. When requirements are clear and stable, you can propose and use this methodology. Agile Scrum, it's a flexible iterative approach, delivers the project in an incremental way, that is through sprints. Each sprint is typically 2 to 3 weeks of duration. Every sprint delivered contains an independent workable items. Team should understand this approach and work towards sprints completion as per the timelines. Don't have the mindset like Waterfall approach. Waterfall has a bundle of tasks on each phase and enough time for implementation. And the actual production deployment will happen at the end of the project or at the end of the phase. Agile delivery is a continuous process through sprints with the help of DevOps CSAT pipelines. Ceremonies. There are 5 ceremonies which help us to deliver Agile sprints. Product backlog refinement. Product owner, Scrum Master and the team will join this event. And this can be conducted at any time. Here product owner explains the product backlog items, then questions, clarifications, amendments will happen. The final approved user stories are ready for the sprint planning. Then sprint planning, Scrum Master along with the team participates. It happens at the beginning of the sprint. Team selects the relevant finalized user stories from the product backlog and creates a sprint backlog. This selection is based on a sprint goal. These user stories are implemented in that sprint. Daily Scrum, also called as DTP, Daily Touchpoint Call. It's a daily short meeting with the team. It's about 15 minutes. Scrum Master discusses with each team member about what he or she has done yesterday, what is he planning to do for today, and discusses on are there any issues. If there are any issues, they will be handled separately after the meeting. Sprint review, there are 2 reviews in a sprint. One is mid-sprint review and the other one is sprint demo review. Mid-sprint review is conducted by the Scrum Master to assess the progress of deliverables. Scrum Master checks if all the user stories can be completed on time in the sprint. And if there are any user stories which may not be completed, then the Scrum Master takes necessary actions based on the situations. The actions are like targeting to complete in the sprint itself or push them for the next sprint. We call it as a spillover. Sprint demo review happens at the end of the sprint. As part of this, Scrum Master and the team showcase the completed tasks to the stakeholders and collects the feedback for incorporating into future sprints. Sprint retrospective happens after the sprint delivery. All team members participate in this meeting to analyze the sprint delivery. They discuss on what went well, what went wrong, and what are the action items to be performed so that the issues, risks will not be repeated again. The goal of this ceremony is to prevent recurring problems and continuously improve the process. Reports. Reports will help in tracking the work completion status, identifying bottlenecks, overall sprint health, and refines the process for future sprints. Reports are categorized as sprint progress reports, team performance reports, and issue analysis and workflow reports. Sprint progress reports, they are burn down, burn up, and sprint report. Burn down tracks the total work remaining against the time left. It predicts the sprint completion goal. A gradual, steady, downward slope indicates healthy progress, but a flat line signals blockers. So we should act accordingly. Burn up shows work completed compared to the total scope of the sprint. This helps to understand the team's progress towards the finish line. I gave the reports links in the comments. Please go through it. Sprint report. After completion of the sprint, it shows the summary of what all completed, not completed, issues, and etc. Now, second category, team performance reports. They are velocity, epic, and cumulative flow diagrams. Velocity reports measures the average number of story points a team can complete in a sprint. Epic report tracks the progress of a large user story implementing across multiple sprints. Cumulative flow diagram shows the number of issues in each workflow status over time. Third category is issue analysis and workflow reports. Control chart measures the cycle time, means total time taken to complete a task, and the lead time of issues. Created versus resolved issues chart compares the number of issues created to the number of issues resolved over a specific time. Version report, it monitors the progress towards completing a specific version release of the project. To access and customize the reports in JIRA, I have given instructions in the comments. Cross-functional teams. Collaboration with cross-functional teams is very important. Teams are dev team, QA, DevOps, UX, business analysts, third-party application teams, ITS team, and so on. Teams may have a dependency on each other. Communication is another important aspect. Communication is not just a fluency in a language. Having depth-level subject knowledge is a core thing for the better communication. You should communicate the requirements, tasks very clearly. Otherwise, it falls into rework. Rework impacts on deadlines, which impacts on increasing the project budget. That causes to reduce the revenue, thereby reduction in profit margin. So better communication is important. Key areas of collaboration with cross-functional teams are: establish a shared goal, explains each team that we are all working to achieve a common goal. Align all teams at the start. Bring all the core teams at the starting of the sprint, say in backlog refinement, and make sure requirements are the deliverables understood clearly by each team. Establish communication channels, set up daily calls, use Slack or Teams for instant communications. Collaborative ceremonies. Bring the cross-functional teams to participate in sprint planning, sprint review, and sprint retrospective ceremonies. Act quickly to resolve disputes. Different teams may have different priorities, which might cause conflict in helping each other at the needed hour. Scrum Master should jump in and resolve the disputes quickly. Prioritize what to be done first. Leverage collaboration tools such as JIRA, Azure DevOps, Rally. These are used for backlog tracking, Agile Sprint project management. Confluence Miro used for documentation, designs, and collaborative works. CI/CD pipelines, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI. These are used to integrate development, QA, and operations. Iterative feedback process. Collect feedback from the stakeholders after every sprint and incorporate the feedbacks for the next sprints. Customer feedback is the most important thing. You need to check what is the customer satisfaction level. This directly impacts on the revenue. How, I will explain it along with the CSAT score. First thing is collect the feedback by sending the customer feedback form to the client periodically. Let me explain the sample template. Of course, you can modify based on your project delivery. Okay, the heading is IT project customer feedback form. Project name, customer or client name, date. There are few areas you can ask for the feedback. Topic 1, overall experience. How satisfied are you with the overall delivery of the project? Customer can choose any of these options. Very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. That's based on how delivery happened. Is it on time, with quality and within budget? Next, did the project meet your expectations? That means what are the goal, functionality, quality expected by customer? Was it met? Topic 2, project delivery and quality. How do you rate the quality of the deliverables? Was the project delivered on time and within the budget? Topic 3 is communication and collaboration. How effective was the communication from the project team? How responsive was the project team to your queries and concerns? Topic 4, value and benefits. How well does the solution delivered support your business needs? How likely are you to recommend our IT services to others? Topic 5, the general feedback. What did you like most about our project? What are the areas that we can improve for future projects? Any additional comments or suggestions? Now about customer satisfaction, CSAT score. We should always target to get very satisfied, which is 80% to 100% satisfaction from the customer. If we achieve this, we can get more number of projects from the same customer. Same customer can continue for long term. We can showcase the success story of these projects to other customers and win the projects. It means our revenue will be increased. If we get neutral or below kind of CSAT score, that makes us to lose the existing project and we may not able to win new projects on the same domain, which decreases our company's revenue. Project roadmap and release plans. A project roadmap shows a high-level visual overview of a project without going into the detailed task-level plan. Generally, 1 year roadmap is designed, which contains phases, milestones, objectives with the timelines of when to deliver. Here is an example roadmap. Project name is ABC. Phase 1 focuses on product prototype to be delivered. Under phase 1, Milestone 1 implements product prototype. Timelines are Jan to March. Milestone 2 showcase the demo of prototype, does any minimal changes and gets sign off. The timeline is end of March. Phase 2 focuses on product development and testing completion. The timeline is end of July. Phase 3 focuses on deploy product to one client. The timelines are August and September. Phase 4 focuses on deploy product to many clients. The timelines are September to December. Release plan shows the releases planned for a year generally. It shows every month how many releases are planned and each release how many sprints are planned to deliver, and in each sprint what is the sprint goal and what are the features to deliver. It's designed for 12 months of releases with the dates, sprints and their goals. It's very useful plan. This has to be reviewed after every release to check whether all the planned deliverables delivered or not, and we can do changes in release plan if needed. Project health and risk status. Project health status report shows about the current health status of the project. Here is an example project ABC. This project overall health is shown through RAG, which is red, amber, green. Green means on track, that means within budget, on schedule, scope in control. Amber, some issues, risks are there but manageable. Red, major issues, may impact on reaching deadlines, that may impact on budget, so immediate attention is required. Schedule status, 85% of this project completed and it's on schedule. Budget and cost status, we calculated planned versus actual spent. This project is within the budget. Scope status, we mention if there are any changes to the scope. Quality status shows the defect status, testing status, deliverables, quality feedback. Key milestones, we show here the status of the key milestones like completed, in progress, delayed. Achievements, since last report, we mentioned key accomplishments here. Next steps, planned activities to complete in the coming days. Dependencies, internal or external dependencies that impact the delivery. You can also create charts to showcase the important areas in visual format. Project risk status, also we call it as risk register. This is the most important document for the Scrum Master. This focuses on identifying, collecting, tracking and mitigating the risks. Risk register can contain different categories of items like issues, concerns, risks, dependencies. Risk register contains the key columns like risk ID, risk title, risk description, identified date, category, rating, critical, high, medium, low, status of the risk, who is the owner of the risk, what is the action plan to resolve. It contains history of actions with dates and the date risk is closed. You can discuss the critical and high risks in senior leadership meetings and can have short meetings anytime with relevant cross-functional teams to discuss the risks of any rating. Sprints delivery status, sprint release report, active sprint board. Sprints delivery status report. This report shows the status of the completed sprints and the current sprint of a particular Scrum Master. It helps the management to understand how many are planned deliverables versus how many are actually delivered. Percentage delivered of each sprint by the Scrum Master, and it also shows when was the release date, release status of the sprint, and the remarks. This report also helps to assess the performance of the Scrum Masters. So this is very important for the management and also to Scrum Master for realizing how effectively he is executing the project. Sprint release report. This report shows what are the user stories planned for the sprint and how many are actually delivered, and what are the user stories spilled over for the next sprints. That means they are not completed for some reason. It helps in understanding the Scrum team capacity of delivering number of user stories for a sprint, so that Scrum Master will plan accordingly to choose the number of user stories for the next sprint. And for your information, user story size is defined based on story points. Active sprint board, you can see in JIRA tool, it shows how many user stories in to-do status, how many are in progress status, how many are in QA review, and how many are in done status. And it also shows how many days left for the sprint to be completed. You can add more number of custom columns like UI design progress, UI approved, QA1 review, QA1 approved, QA2, pre-prod review, and so on. You as a Scrum Master should be able to create Scrum board and add relevant columns to manage and deliver the sprint. I already gave the links in the comments on how to do that. Required experience and importance of certification. Required experience, it would be good if you have a few years of working experience in any role within Agile Scrum projects. That will enable you to understand Agile Scrum methodology, and then you focus on learning what all I have taught here to become a Scrum Master. Once you learned and got the confidence, then you can proceed to drive the projects as a Scrum Master. Now let me talk about the importance of the Scrum Master certification. Can you see that guy? He seems so different, nicely dressed, holding a file, looking unique in that group. Correct? Remember, the certification is also the same. It makes you stand out from the group for the interview. Okay, what are the certifications a Scrum Master should target for? You can go for CSM, Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance, or go for PSM I, Professional Scrum Master from scrum.org. This is a basic certification and mostly enough for cracking interviews and also for executing the Agile Scrum projects. And if you want to go for the advanced level, A-CSM, Advanced Certified Scrum Master, CSP-SM, Certified Scrum Professional Scrum Master. These are from Scrum Alliance. And PSM II and PSM III are the advanced level certifications from scrum.org.